Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith. Welcome to a special edition of My View from the 40. Today I'm going to be breaking down the crossover rule. So a lot of people aren't necessarily sure how this rule works. A lot of people aren't big fans of it. But before we get into that, let me break it down. This started back in 1996. Now the CFL is comprised of 9 teams, 5 in the West, 4 in the East. The way the rule works is if the 4th division team in Division A has a better record than the 3rd place team in Division B, then that team would cross over. So looking at this year, for example, the Edmonton Eskimos, which are the 4th place team in the West, have a better record than the Montreal Alouettes, which are the 3rd place team in the East. Well, quite frankly, the Edmonton Eskimos have a better record than any team in the East. But I digress. So Edmonton will cross over to play in Hamilton. So it seems a little weird, it might seem a little funny to have a Western team go to the East. Now the reason that this rule was created was because we were seeing teams with a better record that were being left out of the playoffs, or teams with worse records were getting into the playoffs. That was a head scratcher. It didn't make any sense. So the CFL came out with a rule, which I think is great, that gives that team in 4th place the opportunity to contend in the playoffs. There's some people who say do away with divisions, but no, you need the divisions because that helps create rivalries. The other great thing about the crossover rule is it really makes it important for all the teams to compete at their best throughout the entire season, as opposed to the one division being really great and the other division not as great. It doesn't matter because we're taking the 6 best teams into the playoffs. Now that being said, let's take a look at the crossover rule. Again, it's been in effect since 1996, and since then, including this year, there have been 9 times where the crossover rule has been enforced. So I can't speak about this year yet, but let's look at the other 8 times. Of those 8 times, only twice has the crossover team come over and won in the semifinal game. Now, I don't mind telling you that of all the 8 times that the crossover rule has happened, it has always been the West crossing over to play the East. But of those times, only 2 times have they won and gone on to the Eastern Final. And in those 2 times that they've gone to the Eastern Final, they've never won. You heard it. The crossover team has never gone on to the Grey Cup. Now, there's some people who think that this might be the year. Some people think that the Edmonton Eskimos might go to the Grey Cup, and who knows, there's some who think that it could be an Edmonton-Calgary Grey Cup. But history is on the side of the Ottawa Redblacks, because even if Edmonton gets past Hamilton, it doesn't look like history's on their side for Edmonton to beat Ottawa. It probably also helps that Ottawa beat Edmonton twice this year. So the crossover rule is pretty much to balance things out in the league and to make sure that things are even like Steven. I hope that explains the crossover rule to you. If you've got any questions, let me know. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/WhittyWhittier, and WhittyWhittier.com. My name's Keith. Thanks so much for checking this out, and that's my view from the 40.